we move into a more intentional life when we are constantly being distracted by visual and information overload? It's so easy to see the rise of minimalism or slow living in response to all these distractions. Yesterday, I got distracted and completely forgot to do the most important task that I had planned for the day. I can't even remember what I was distracted by. And I didn't even know what it was until about 3:30 in the morning. I woke up and went, oh, I forgot to do this task. And then I was doing it at about 4:30 in the morning, thinking, I got to get this done. Why do we do this to ourselves? Distractions continually call us. It's like an addiction. And we give it our time, thinking, oh, I'll only be on these things for, 5 minutes. And suddenly 3 hours goes by. These distractions are constantly calling us, demanding us to pay attention to them. So, what do? Most of these we know. Sometimes we just need reminders. Like number 1, turn off notifications. That constant bing or whatever it is enough to completely distract you from what you're trying to do. Especially if you're trying to get into some deep work or flow, as they may call it. Those pings will snap you out of deep work instantly. Number 2, plan when you're going to open up your email. This is one that I've struggled with a lot. I like to have my email box empty all the time. Especially when I worked at an online school, I was constantly opening up my email, right? So I could get it all done, zero inbox before I left for work. But it was on. It was just on. Even if I'm working somewhere, it was right here staring me in the face. Don't do that. That's too distracting. And most of the time, those emails that are coming in don't need your time. There's going to be a couple for sure that are going to need your time, but overall, probably 80 to 90% don't need your time. Actually, in your plan, make a plan of what you're going to do and write in there email. Open your email and then stick to it. If you have to, put a visual reminder, put a time blocker on your phone, your iPad, whatever you're using, your desktop computer, whatever you're using, put time blockers on. These have saved me a lot because I think sometimes I'm just going to take a 20-minute break and suddenly the time blocker says, you're done. I'm like, what? Alternate some of your bigger tasks with smaller tasks. So maybe you want to brainstorm things that only take 5 minutes or less. And then if you get something done early, you can slot in one of those smaller tasks into that little chunk of time. It might stop you from opening social media up. When you think about it, the opposite of distraction is traction. Traction. What we need to do is get on the right track with what we're doing. We need to be intentional with every aspect of our day, even the times when we're going to take a break. For some people, knowing your why for doing a task might be what helps them get that task done. Even if that task is not something you necessarily want to do, why are you doing this task? Maybe it's in your job description. Maybe it is something you are being paid to do. Maybe it's just something that's going to make either your life or someone else's life easier. But whatever it is, if knowing the why will help you, then write down your why and get it in your brain. And you can easily write down the sentence, I'm doing this because ... whatever it is. One of the things that has helped me is not looking at a clock. So actually hiding a clock. It's very easy to be looking at my phone or to be looking at the clock on the iPad or tablet and going, oh, it's this time. There is something called the Parkinson's law. You might have heard it before, but what the Parkinson's law says is that work will expand to fill the time allotted for its completion. Whatever task you have to do, if you say it's going to take an hour, it will. But if you said it was going to take 40 minutes, it will. And that's what Parkinson's law says, that often you will stretch the time to fit whatever you mentally think it's going to take. even if it doesn't. If your phone is a distraction, as I said, turn off your notifications and move the phone. Get it off your desk. Move it into another room. One thing I heard, and I think there's some legitimacy to this, is pretend you are on a reality show. How would you want people to see you working? Are you focused or are you distracted? Just pretend there's a hidden camera on you at all times. Just try it for a day and see what happens. As a teacher, one of the things that I find that I have to do continually is get kids not only to focus, but to build their stamina when it comes to that focus. So often I tell parents, when you're doing homework or just reading at home, start small, develop a really good habit for 10 minutes, and then build upon that. Even as adults, we go through seasons and we go through hormonal changes and all these things, and there are days when the best we have is like 55%, or the best we have is 30%. So how do we work through those? It's about building stamina for those times when our energy levels are going to be really low, and the best that we can give is, maybe 60% or whatever it is, and looking at tasks when my energy is low. For women, we go through hormonal changes every month, and there's going to be times when certain tasks are going to be harder to do than others based on the day of the week. So if possible, watch your changes and then plan those harder tasks on the days when your energy levels are going to be a little bit higher than other days. And then if you've got work tasks that don't require as much energy, then do those when your energy is a little bit lower. Find an app that's going to work for you. One of the apps that I like to do for my tasks is Todoist. I also use Notion to help me get at the bigger picture of the different things that I do. And those are the things that I will keep close by, so that if I'm feeling distracted, I will quickly look to see what I still need to be doing during the day. There will never be just one answer to how to get rid of distractions. Some of it's going to be experimental. Try different things, see what works for you. Sometimes it's going to take more planning on your part, being more intentional with every minute, every 15 minutes. Again, start small and try to build the stamina to be working longer periods of time. One of the things that I do when working on a bigger project is I use something called the Pomodoro Technique. There's lots of YouTube videos on it. I recommend it if you are needing something to be able to help you focus for 20, 25 minutes, or even as much as 2 hours. It will give you timed breaks. And with some of the YouTube videos, they will give you some nice calm music to help you work. If you're willing to share what helps you keep the distractions at bay, please comment down below. Thank you for watching. I look forward to the time when our screens meet again.